like it.
Hey, Chris, welcome to another week with you and me. Anyway, it's been a
I'm
crazy.
me.
What?
I'm me.
You're me. I'm me. Anyway, a lot of stuff's happened this week. There's been a lot of ongoing stuff. We were talking a little bit earlier about some of the stuff with, there's been multiple Apple updates in the past week. We've got the ransomware. You got a ransomware attack that's sitting out with Western Digital, which, actually it's a ransom and it's not ransomware yet.
Yeah, it's just a straight up cyber attack, just complete
But
ownage apparently.
but I think this week we should probably focus on that Bitdefender report that was released about what's going on with cyber attacks in businesses.
Well, I think to that point, like one of the things that we're asked a lot, and I'm sure you're in the same boat, is like, well, I'm too small for this to happen to me. Why don't I ever hear about breaches in the news outside of big companies? Well, we may have an answer for you.
Yeah, so the Bitdefender report that came out is saying that the businesses and business owners are telling the IT guys not to say anything and just make it go away.
Yeah.
And the stats in this report are pretty crazy. Let me pull them up.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. I know of companies in my area that have been hit with ransomware or cyber attack, and it's never been reported in the news. So this is not inaccurate.
Yeah, so in this report, it's saying that 74% of the people that responded to this survey actually said they had a data breach last year.
In the United States, yeah. Look at how broken that is between the Europe and the United States. Like how much more we're hit.
Wow,
it's pretty. I mean, that's a stark reality that we need to understand.
Yeah, actually, all the other countries are below 50%.
And I directly deal with some subsidiaries of German companies here, and they are dead serious about cybersecurity because they've had some pretty big breaches in Germany, pretty big ransomware attacks and stuff like that. So like they're like on point here. They're like, we need to make sure we have, obviously backup disaster recovery covered, incident response, and cybersecurity because we can't have this happen to us. And the reality is like they're way less than we are. What is that, like 26%? And if the respondents said 26% less number of breaches, and well, I don't know. We don't know what the breakdown is. The total people that responded. Like, is there like 1,000 from the United States and like 500 from Germany? But either way, you would think that those numbers would be similar.
Yeah, it's skewed that much. I can't believe that the GDPR stuff in Europe would actually be impacting in that, but it could be that people are taking things more seriously over there, and but the other.
This is gold. This page is the gold right here. Yeah.
Have you ever been told to keep a security breach confidential or kept it confidential when you knew it should be reported? Those are crazy numbers.
Well, look at that number. It says 42% overall, right? So all the countries, all the people that responded, 42%. But then you scroll down to the United States, and you're like, whoa, it's 70.
Let me turn this banner off. Let me. There we go.
Hiding the gold. You're hiding the money here. Look at that. Look at other countries like in Europe versus us for like who's been told to like keep it quiet.
That's crazy.
And in oranges, they kept it quiet even though they knew they should have reported it. So 70% of them were told to not report it, and then 54% of them basically said, "Okay, fine, I won't." So what? 16? That's 16% of data breaches for the people that responded to this report actually were reported.
That's the people that actually responded to the report.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we know. Like I said, I know companies around here a lot. I know a lot of companies around here that have been hit with ransomware, hit with like some sort of level of cyber attack that wasn't quite catastrophic, but it was pretty significant to their business impact. They let people that they work with, companies they work with, kind of know if they had to, but they never made the news. I know 2 $1 billion companies that got hit in that never made the news because they were technically private. $1 billion companies.
Wow.
That got hit and they won't admit to it. one of which was down for 6 weeks.
It's kind of being down for 6 weeks. It's kind of hard to hide to your customers anyway. But
I think the one specifically that was down for 6 weeks. They had a lot of inventory, so they were able to kind of make through it and kind of like I think BS their way because I know a few people that work there. But
manual pick and pack, huh?
Yeah, they were directly impacted. So, again, this is why when somebody says I don't ever hear about breaches in small companies. Look, if you're a private company and you have 70% of people being told not to report it, and then you have 54% really not reporting it, because let's be real, not every company gets hit. Eventually, you're going to get hit with something, right? Probably,
Sure.
but not everybody gets hit every single year. So the numbers aren't like 90% of companies have a breach this year. That's not reality. But like when you don't hear about the small companies that you deal with every day that may have your data, that may be a supplier to you, and you don't hear about it, and they're not telling you and they're hiding it, what does that tell you about them? What if
Tells
they're
me
part
that
of your
they're
supply chain?
absolutely. And just to shift it for a little bit, when the business owners go back to the IT guys and say, just make this go away, is that a crime? Are we covering up a crime scene because there was no forensic investigation at that point, no, and it just makes the problem disappear. But there's always traces in the future that this is going to come back and bite them.
Well, and we're seeing more and more lawsuits too. I saw this week. I can't remember what hospital it was, but nurses are suing because they didn't get paid overtime because they got hit with ransomware or something like that, and they didn't get paid. Honda, I think, had that problem because I think they were part of the Kronos thing. Kronos was down, and people are suing because they didn't get paid for overtime. So you may have your employees suing you, but like we're seeing lawsuits in between companies that are affected. The auto industry is sending out requirements to suppliers saying you need to have a cybersecurity program. And if you don't, like we're just not going to do business with you because they can't afford the supply chain part of it.
Sure.
We just had 3CX show us what a supply chain attack can do from a simple voice over IP system where people are getting their information. So we don't even know the overall impact of that. And they couldn't hide that. That got outed by some of my cyber firms. But would they have admitted to it if it wouldn't have been outed by cyber firms? And to your point too, Western Digital is being quiet about what happened to them, but their MyCloud was down for 10 days. And if you look at what the hackers are saying, they say they have 10 terabytes of information from them. They got into their SAP systems. They got into their Microsoft Azure. They say they still have a foothold on Western Digital, and they're demanding an 8-figure payout. And Western Digital is being quiet.
Right, they're demanding a payout because you said they're still in there, but they're not necessarily corrupting anything at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like from what the chatter is that they want to do ransomware, but if they keep what is it, F around and find out, Western Digital is going to find out if they keep screwing around with this, especially if they can't be 100% certain that they got them out of there. One thing that we're seeing is SEC is going to have reporting rules coming up here, and they just released some new requirements for that for cybersecurity.
Well, the SEC is going to have reporting rules, but most states already have reporting rules on the books, or a lot of states do.
Yeah, especially if it involves consumer information to a certain level.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't talk about it, but last week there was a New Jersey one of the county police departments got hit with a ransomware attack.
Oh, we're seeing schools get hit with that. We're seeing what happened with LA School District where they got hit and they admitted to it, but then they said, well, no student data got hit. And then like weeks or months later, they come out and they're like, well, we actually lost a bunch of student data. So I comment down below or reach out to us one way or another. And how would you feel if a company you conduct business with that has your information blatantly hides a cyber attack and never lets you know? And your data could be stolen, your information could be stolen and being used for nefarious things, and you don't know about it because they blatantly hid it. Is that acceptable to you? Would you keep doing business with them? because I wouldn't. How about you? If I find out that a company that I'm dealing with is just lying and blatantly hiding something like that, I'm done.
Absolutely.
Like I have too many. I have too much morals and ethics for this stuff that I won't hide a cyber attack. If somebody asks us to hide it, I'd be like, no. Like if they have to report it, either they're reporting it or we're reporting it for them, or reporting them to the appropriate agency.
Yeah, well, and going back to that report, in on-site staff, existing employees being told to not report it, that puts them in a dilemma because now they're facing retribution from their employer. There's confidentiality agreements in place and all kinds of other stuff around that. But
you want an easy way to destroy your career? Have somebody tell you not to report a breach, and then you get outed later that you didn't report it, and you're in cybersecurity or something like that. You might want to start your own company because nobody's going to hire you, or they shouldn't hire you, unless of course they're unethical and they just want people that will just not report stuff. Then sure, you'll find something.
But IT and cyber work has changed over the years, and now this is what has to happen.
I mean, I had to sign off on 4 canons for the code of ethics for my CISSP.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I violate that for something? It's not worth it.
Absolutely. So yeah. So that's all we got for this week, guys. This
let's
cyber
think
attack.
about this.
So it's really something to think about, and you're not hearing about some companies getting cyber attacks. Well, now we know. Now we think we know why, because they have chosen just to sweep it under the rug.
Oh, and one last thing on this: if you sweep it under the rug and you don't take care of like how they actually got in, there's a good chance they're going to come right back in.
Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but they're there.
Yep, it's happened before. There's been news come out from other places where they got hacked a couple weeks later from the same attack vector that they used the first time. So yeah, let us know. Let's comment down below. Let us know. Send us DMs, whatever you want to do. Let us know if there's a topic that you want us to cover. We kind of glazed over the Apple and Microsoft things, but hey, patch your Apple devices, patch your Windows devices. The Windows 0 Day on Tuesday was used for ransomware for almost a year. And the Apple one was actively being exploited to sideload spyware on phones and actually being able to read your text messages, listen to your phone calls, record it, stuff like that. So you may want to update.
And the biggest thing in that Tuesday patch that people really want to know about is that the weather app is fixed.
I mean, that's why I downloaded it initially. And then I saw the 0 days. I can't do it without my weather app.
Okay. Have a good week, everyone.
All right, guys.
Have a good week.